Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So it's Season 10, and this is War number 11. And we're going up against an alliance called, well, you saw their name, so those guys. Anyway, I went in here with my somewhat standard team, Gladiator Hulk for Path 1 in Section 1, and Starkey. And this time, I decided to bring in Blade. If you watched one of my previous videos, you know that I'm no longer going to bring Ghost unless I plan to commit to using her with synergies. Alright, so as you can see, they did not place a defender on that first node. So the first fight is going to be against Black Bolt. Now, this path is a starburst path, so Gladiator Hulk reigns supreme. So far, I have not met a champion that Gladiator Hulk could not defeat on this path. Not saying that there isn't one, but I just have not encountered one yet. And I was trying to think of who would be a problem for Gladiator Hulk on this path. Alright, so there you see, I got hit, stunned, and he's still going. Look at his health. Just a beast on this path. So Black Bolt not going to be a problem. Now I remember back in the day I got hit with Black Bolt's Special 3. His Special 3 does quite a bit of damage. This is before Havoc, but his damage was insane at the time, and he had a stun, and it was a pretty long stun too. And I remember from that point on I decided not to push him to his Special 3 under no circumstances. Alright, so down he goes, not too much of a problem. So next is that first boss, and he was noted up, and I don't normally take that boss, as I mentioned previously. And when I came back, they had already cleared that, and we're in Section 2. So in Section 2, I take Path 2, and this first fight is Encroaching Stun, and it's a magic. Well, I had already scouted out my path, and Blade wants to talk to Magic about a little something something. Now, Gladiator Hulk can also do this fight. Her Limbo activates his Face Me, if I remember correctly. So yeah, he can actually do this fight as well. But Blade, without needing any of the synergies like Dormammu, who would give him Danger Sense against Mystics, or Ghost Rider, who gives him Danger Sense against villains, Magic is his natural prey. So she is a dimensional being, and that is who Blade gets Danger Sense against without synergies. Alright, so as you can see, no problem whatsoever fighting Magic. Blade just destroyed her. Not too many people still use Blade in war, but now that we can see our defenders, no reason not to when you see Magic on the path or someone else that Blade can really handle. Alright, so next up, we've got a mini-boss, and it is Hyperion. And Hyperion can be a royal pain to fight, especially when he doesn't want to throw his specials. So I decided to go in here with Spider-Man, and let me explain why. First of all, Spider-Man does a lot of damage, but that's not enough for me to consider him a good counter for Hyperion. The other thing is he has a power drain on his heavy attack. It's on a timer, but it's great for like emergency situations. And finally, Spider-Man Stark Enhanced has a taunt. And that taunt can coax Hyperion to throw his special when he doesn't want to. It even works on all or nothing nodes. Alright, so as you can see there, I was going with a standard tactic of building up my poise charges. I can build them up faster because I have Blade on the team. So Starkey started with 3 poise charges. But I'm also dealing with the node. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, let me, try and slow play it. And I was like, you know what? look at how much health he was healing for. So I said, never mind. I'm just going to go for it. You know, let me see if I can't drain him one more time. And we're just going to try to get him down as fast as possible. Here we go with a stun. We got it. And just keep going and took him out. Because if I had waited too long, I may have healed him back to full. So we just got him down without too much difficulty. Starkey is just one of my favorite champions to fight with. Now we got to fight Archangel. The only problem with fighting Archangel that I saw was that I'm running suicides. So one touch from Archangel can pretty much wreck me. If he gets lucky, which the AI often does, I will end up with a neurotoxin that will just take me out completely. So I have to pay attention and be very careful not to get hit and, you know, by anything. Not to get hit by his specials, not to get hit by his wings, nothing. And so we were able to get him down. But that fight is often very stressful simply because I know what he can do because I'm running suicides. Okay, now guys, that was the last fight that I had in this war. But I wanted to show you guys something because these guys that we're fighting impressed me. So let me explain what you're seeing here. Currently, we are tied 2 bosses to 2 bosses, all right? Each of us have gotten 2 bosses down. When I last saw one of our battle groups, they did not have their boss down. We had less than an hour, and it looked like they had given up. And I'm like, okay, that's what this other team is seeing. And so they know that if they can get this final boss down here, they win. So I'm sitting here watching. I'm supposed to have gone to go shopping with my family. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, you guys got to give me about 10 minutes, so that I could see how they were doing here. And they were reviving. As you can see, 5 of them came over here because they knew that they needed to get this boss down to have a chance to win. And they would have a good chance to win as long as we don't get 3 bosses down as well. In one of the battle groups, they skipped a lot of defenders and they went for the boss and they got that boss down. So at this point, we are pretty much ahead of them as long as they don't get this boss down. Okay? So I'm just sitting here watching and I'm looking at the clock and they are just impressing me. I actually found myself rooting for them. Okay? They were fighting so hard. And I was just sitting here, you know, biting my nails and telling my alliance, you know, the news and the play-by-play, trying to galvanize that last battle group into taking down that boss, making that final push. You know, so I'm in the chat and I'm like, guys, they are going for it. They have not given up. And, you know, they're like, well, they may not have that much time. Now, I started recording this a little bit later on, but I've been watching them for a good 15, 20 minutes. And so when I started giving my alliance the play-by-play, they had a really good chance. I didn't know how good their fighters were, you know, whether they would be able to get a one-shot on Korg. You know, I looked and I saw who they brought, but I'm not the best Korg fighter. So when I have Havoc, that makes the fight, you know, fairly simple and easy. But I have seen folks light intercept with Korg and just wreck him, one-shot him. So they could have someone like that on their team, and it wouldn't really matter who they brought in, because if you know how to fight with that light intercept style, then you can take out Korg with pretty much anyone. So I'm watching them here. They're chipping him down. They're getting that wasp down. They have not given up. And I'm just like, wow, go ahead. You know, I'm just impressed. And I thought that I would have to make an after-war commentary on my own alliance. Because, again, like I said, when I looked, there was no movement for one of the battle groups, and there was not that much time left. I was sending messages. I was like, have they given up? You know, it doesn't seem like they've moved at all. I think one or two people had moved. I saw empty nodes that no one had even touched. And I'm like, really? You know, you could just move to that node and that'll give us some more points. So I knew that my alliance leader had already told everyone, we can win this war. We need to get our bosses down. You know, no matter what, but that we could win this war. And so, you know, two of the battle groups pushed and were able to get that boss down, and it was not looking good for that last battle group. And so they have a very good chance at this point to win. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up. But as you can see, they got that guy down. Wasp went down. And so I'm sitting there going, okay, guys, they have not given up. They're on the boss, you know. And then I saw their first attempt, and I'm like, okay, they may run out of time here. But they did manage to at least get some attempts in on the boss. And I'm just watching, and I'm like, they're not giving up, guys. Just look at this. They are not giving up. And I was like, okay, that's it. It's over with. Then, around this time, I was told that our battle group had actually gotten down their boss. So that meant we should win. And I came out of the war thinking that I was going to go back in to check to make sure that they weren't just pulling my leg and they actually did get that boss down. And I wanted to look and see, you know, did they leave up some folks? But it was too close to the end. And so when I came out, I wasn't able to go back in. So all that was left at this point was to wait and find out whether we won. All right, and we're back. And as you can see, we won. But let me tell you, shout out to our opponents, War Plus. Not sure how to say your actual name there, but you guys put up an amazing fight. That last scrappy fight against Korg and Wasp was impressive, and you earned my respect. All right, so that's going to do it. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. And you all have a blessed day.